Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Jurassic World Evolution 3. The last video actually did surprisingly well. I'm super happy that people enjoyed it. And so we're back again for round 2. Now in the last video we did the big sort of central plaza area. And so I wanted to add just at the start of this video a few like shops and amenities. I noticed we didn't have any, we just had hotels. So I'm going to make sort of a small shopping area. Nothing too fancy, there's not a bunch of detailed building here. You may have guessed from the last video I am not the best builder in the world. That plaza is probably the nicest thing I've ever built in any park builder game, so don't expect the best thing in the world. But yeah, we're just honking down some amenities, basically trying to fill up the shops. Sort of Tetris them together is the word. So I wanted to have this big white like concrete plaza bit, and I'm hoping it's not too bland. Sometimes you can go for too much colour in an area, and I didn't want to do that. And as people who play this game know, sometimes the paths just don't want to communicate, they don't want to work. They just do whatever they please most of the time. I did as good as I could, and I might end up adding some more things to it at a later date, I'm not entirely sure. So, like I said, the last video actually did surprisingly well. I'm super happy with it. A bunch of people watched it, and I'm glad people enjoyed it. This is all entirely new to me. I've never done this style of video before. I've done a voiceover one other time earlier in my channel, but nothing ever like this. I'm going for stuff that I'm a bit more interested in doing at the moment. I wanted to try doing some more calm, casual, relaxed videos that people could just put on while they're doing other things and hopefully just chill. So hopefully I'll get better at this. You'll have to bear with me while I get used to how to do these things. So the number one rule I have for a lot of my things, I'm going to place down a bunch of plants. Foliage is the way to go if you want a bit more detail in your park. I find it's the nicest thing to do, and we're sticking with the theme of palm trees and tropical island stuff. That's, I find, the best thing to do, really. I'm going to spend about 20 minutes here in real time trying to make these plants look straight, but I don't think it ever actually happens, so I think we just get as good as we can get. It doesn't help that I can't select the bushes while the tree's there, because the tree's hitbox is absolutely massive for some reason. So it's not the most ideal circumstance, so we're going to go and add some lights to it, give it a bit of lighting. I never actually saw it again in the dark once I'd finished, so I don't know how good that looked actually. I should have really taken the time to look at that, but I didn't. But the idea was just get some lights going. It's a nice simple way to add detail to it all. Like I said, I hope that later on, if I do more videos on this, that I can make some nicer looking enclosures and things. I'm still getting used to it. Never been really the best. Never really been the best at doing these kind of buildy things. They've never come out as good as I would like them to. And then you see other people on YouTube and stuff, they're making masterpieces. But hopefully you can just accept the fact that I am just a common scum. And I am not an artistic person. I'm just doing what my brain tells me looks nice. So basically, yeah, just planting a bunch of trees and bushes around to add a bit of detail. And then we're going to go ahead and add a bunch of like seating areas and stuff like that, which I try to make my own nice looking seating area. It doesn't look as nice as the pre-made one, so I put one of the pre-made ones as well. I would like to try and build as many blueprints myself as I can. Try and make some unique things, but some things I just couldn't get the hang of. And you gotta remember, this is all sped up. This is a 17-minute video in total, and in reality it was like an hour and a half of footage. So it's a lot of time that goes into making things look real nice. I could have spent hours trying to make this look as nice as possible, but I was running low on time. So we went for some sort of seating areas. I didn't want all of them to have the umbrellas up. I wanted some variation, and I thought we could hang some lights up around it. I thought that was a nice idea. Once again, I didn't actually look back at it at night, so I'm not entirely sure what it looked like in the end, but I thought it was a good little touch. And once again, add some plants. Make sure they're in a plant pot, and just plant some bushes. That's the way a lot of this is going to go, I think. But I do want people's opinions. So here's the other version that I put up. It looks much nicer than mine, so I just put that in there. I do want people's opinions, though. Do you want me to make a themed areas for this park? Should I have sections? So this is just the entrance area we've done in the first 2 episodes. So would you rather I did sectioned out areas that were different themes, like a swamp area and a alpine area and things like that? Or do you want me to just have one theme throughout the whole park? Because I've been debating this, and I'm not entirely sure, because some dinosaurs don't suit certain climate. So like the feathered dinosaurs would look better in a snowy area. Obviously, for whatever reason, the developers of Jurassic World Evolution 3 just decided, depending on the map, depends on what stuff you can use, which I think is annoying, personally. I want to be able to put snow and all types of trees on any map, preferably, and you can technically, if you want to put down each individual tree, you can do that. But anyway, that's enough of me moaning. I was trying to fix the paths and stuff, but as I said, the paths don't really like to work together, and so you always end up with some overlapping textures, which was a bit weird. So yeah, we're just adding some detail, basically, just some things to fill out the space. So we went for the Triceratops because it's one of my favourite dinosaurs. And I thought we could have the Pteranodon sort of flying over top. I thought that was a nice little feature. Looks cool. We should add some benches and lighting around it. And I think it's a super cool little area. I feel like it's missing something. I feel like I need to add something else here, but I just couldn't figure it out. So I just left it, figuring either you guys at home watching this can offer suggestions on what you want me to add there, or in a future video I'll think about what I need to put. Because I didn't want to spend this whole video just working on more people stuff. You don't do Jurassic World things for the people. We want the park, we want the dinosaurs, we want the enclosure. That's what I wanted to focus on a lot more. That's what I am going to focus on in a small minute once I've finished deciding what food and drinks we're allowed. I think I went for like seafood and stuff. Food and milkshakes. I don't know why. That's a bad combination, by the way. Don't eat milkshake. Terrible combination. So, like I said in the last video, we are going to move the hatchery. The hatchery is purely temporary as of right now. My intention is that once the dinosaurs are all in and we're finished with the park, the hatchery won't mean anything. I've decided to put it out of the way. So we're now deciding what kind of dinosaur we want next. I want a carnivore. We had a herbivore in the first video. I want a carnivore in this video, but I don't want a huge carnivore. I'm not going to be blasting out a T-Rex right in the main entrance, because that's not good park. We need to have a specific, really, really nice enclosure for things like the T-Rex, Dinosaurus. I played with the idea of the Utah Raptor and the Utaranus. Utah Raptor is one of my favourites in this game, and so is the Gulong, the feathered raptor-y looking. I think they're just the coolest. So now we're trying to build a path without completely ruining the entrance to the park, which is kind of difficult. We're just trying to add as small a path as possible, just so that the thing works, basically. Smooth it out to look a bit less bad. Like I say, it's a temporary thing. So, as you can see, we're going for Allosaurus. Thought it was a good point. I've not really used much Allosaurus in any of my parks. I wanted to try it. It's going to be a very simple enclosure, nothing fancy. Just big steel barbed wire fences. I did a toy with the idea of having like a doubled up fence, so like a clearer fence and then a wall fence, but I think it's a bit much for an Allosaurus. So we're essentially going to... This is where I'm trying to find out what kind of fence it needs, but I forgot how you actually do that. I didn't realise it was just the little shield there. So yeah, it's nothing super fancy. I do use a really cool blueprint that somebody made. I'm really upset that I can't remember the name. Hopefully it says it in the blueprint. Speak English, thank you. Hopefully it says it in the blueprint screen who made it, because it's really cool. It's a blueprint for something to put a feeder in, and you'll see it in just a moment when I'm building this part, but I think it's incredible. And I don't remember the name of the person who made it. Hopefully if I can find it, I will put it in the description of the video, if I remember to. But just know, if you're out there and you see this, you made an incredible blueprint there. I ended up filling this with trees, but then completely forgot that those things don't count as pasture. So that didn't really matter in the end. And as per usual, just stack a million rocks. Keep stacking rocks. When in doubt, rock. That's also what the movie industry does nowadays. When in doubt, the rock. Anyway, yeah, we're basically just stacking rocks to make that sort of cliff edge look a bit nicer. I did originally want to cover that fence with rocks, but I ended up going against it in the end. I feel like we just go for a standard fence, nothing super fancy. Just something that works, you know. Sometimes simple is better. You know, a lot of the times you can get too wound up complicating things and trying to make things as detailed and as complicated as possible, and sometimes just going for the simple look ends up being the nicer, which is what we ended up doing here. I did realise, oh wait, no, we do put in a way of viewing them. I was just thinking, did I not put any viewing galleries? We did. This is where I'm looking for the blueprint, which is right there. As you can see, it is, someone has made a carcass. It's made up of like I think it's the Stegosaurus statue and a skeleton and stuff. And if you put it the right way, I messed this up about 4 times trying to do this, but that's because I'm stupid. So essentially you put down the feeder and then you place the blueprint over the top of it, and it will look like the carnivores are eating out of the carcass rather than out of a feeder, and I think it's an incredible. It just took me a second to really figure out how to do it because I'm stupid. Really, I'm just an idiot. So yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. Hopefully somewhere in there you can see the name. I'm not even 100% sure. But you'll find it on the workshop, I think, if you search for carcass feeder or something along those lines. You'll see it. So yeah, we're going for the log viewing gallery. What I really want to do is sort of tuck the entrance into this plaza. But as per usual Jurassic World games, it just, the path didn't want a path. Because for some reason there's just an invisible barrier around the whole building that stops me from being able to completely encase it in path, and it leaves gaps there and looks horrible. So I ended up giving up on it in the end anyway. As you can see there, look, I cannot place a path for it because the actual entrance is in the way. So the actual building within structure. And no matter what you do, you can't do it because the actual structure goes outside. The building area goes outside of the structure for some reason, so you can't actually get close enough to the building to fill it in. I believe I ended up giving up on that, and I either put it somewhere else or... What did I do actually? I have no idea what I did. I have no... What did I do? This is a few days ago that I recorded this now, and I've already forgotten what I did this morning, so... I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. Alright, well, while I figure this out... Oh yeah, that was it. I put a bunch of plants and props around it to block up the path. That's what I did, to make it look a bit nice. Not ideal. Not even a good placement of the building now that I'm looking at it, but you know, here we are. But while I'm trying to figure that out, I wanted to ask you guys at home what other things you might want to see. whether it involves this game, if there's any specific dinosaur enclosures you want made, if there's any style of thing you want doing, any suggestion. Ignore the battleship. The battleship wasn't there. Anyway, yeah, anything, any other games you want me to play, any other style of video you want me to do, just let me know. I'm open for all suggestions, and I truly am very thankful that a good couple hundred people, I think, saw the last video. I'm very, very happy that people enjoyed it. It's something I'm trying, and it's new, so it's always nice to get good responses to it. And I hope, I'm genuinely surprised, because I believed that absolutely nobody would ever want to listen to my voice for more than 10 minutes. So I'm very thankful, because I'm not very good at talking, as you can probably tell. Especially when you're talking to yourself. Actually, I'm better at talking to myself than I am at talking to people. I like me most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Anyway, so we're sort of sorting out the enclosure. As I said in the last video, I want to try and get as close as possible to making the correct environment for the dinosaurs. We didn't quite make it in this one, because despite the fact that the enclosure is big enough, we didn't quite have enough room to get the pasture to the white. But because the way the settings are on this, it's fully sandboxed, so nothing's going to happen when they're in the wrong environment. I just wanted to get it as close as possible to the correct environment. So you can sort of just see them running around and doing things. I think at this point I was basically trying to get a thumbnail for the video, because I think it looked really nice. And I did end up getting that. I really like the Allosaurus. I think the designs in this game are really, really good. Both the Jurassic World version, the Jurassic World Evolution version, and the movie version are both really nice. So I think that is the end of it. I know we didn't make a super complicated exhibit, but I still think it's nice. It's a suitable environment for these dinosaurs, and there you can see the feeder in use. I think it's incredible. I genuinely do. It really, really makes it all look nice. So that is the end of this video. Like I said, any suggestions, any comments, feel free to put them down below. I will read them. There's not that many of you watching, so I can get back to each and every one of you. Thank you very much. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.